What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all of y'all are doing well out there. And the holiday season is upon us. As I'm speaking right now, we're about to head into Thanksgiving and Black Friday week has already begun. And so now I figure it would be as good as time as ever while companies are handing out deals on products to just kind of rap with y'all for a second and let you know what are some of my favorite accessories that I use with my cameras in order to really personalize them, make them my own, and really get some good utility when I'm either out and about shooting photography or even filming these YouTube videos. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. This is not going to be some huge exhaustive list of items, but mainly a curated list of things that I frequently use with my cameras in order to really improve the user experience, image quality, and audio quality. Second thing is that I use Fujifilm cameras, but everything that I'm going to talk about does either have cross compatibility or there is some alternate version that would work with other camera brands. And so just know that even though I'm talking about accessories for my Fujifilm cameras, there is either some compatibility or an alternate version for whatever camera you might have. And lastly, everything that I talk about will be linked down in the description. Some links will be affiliate links and I do earn a small commission. Other links will be non-affiliate links, but all the links will be down there just the same. And with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, this first accessory doesn't really have much to do with utility, but more so personalization and style, and that is camera skins. Now me, I love putting skins on all of my cameras. I have them on all of my Fuji cameras with the exception of the GFX 50S, but don't worry because that skin is in the mail. It just gives a unique look to your camera and really makes it your own. The two brands that I use are Alpha Guards and Maya Combo. Both of these companies are very similar. They both offer high quality skins with precise cutouts that cover both the top and bottom plates of your cameras, but then also the grip portion. And there's a lot of customization options. You can go with something more understated, or you can go with something that's a little bit more vibrant and attention grabbing. Now, I will say with the application process of these skins, take your time, put on some music, grab some tea, chill out, and just take your time applying the skin, and you shouldn't go wrong. I've done it 4 times and the process is pretty simple, but camera skins are a great way to offer some personalization to your camera. Now, continuing with personalization, but starting to get into utility, the next accessories I want to recommend are these shutter release buttons. Now, with cameras like the XM5, the X-T50, and I think the X-E5 as well, all those cameras have screw-in holes for you to screw in a shutter release button. And so I have a pretty good selection of those that I got off of Amazon. But for cameras like the XS20, the X-H2S, those actually don't have screw-in holes for shutter release buttons. And so I was able to find these really nice stick-on buttons. I know what you're thinking, and yes, they do really stick. Once I put them on, they have been on. I've had no problems with them popping off or anything, and it added really nice tactility to my shutter buttons on the X-H2S, the XS20, and it has that really nice little pop of color with the reds. I think it comes in other colors as well. Next up, let's talk grips and cages. For my X-H2S, it's pretty straightforward. I have the SmallRig cage on there because this is my workhorse camera. This is the camera that I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of attachments to. In fact, I have my mic attached to the cage right now. This is pretty much what lives on my X-H2S. Now, for my XM5 and my X-T50, I have these really nice wooden handle grips from a company called Hershme. They do sell these grips on Amazon and they're pretty affordable, around $20, and they add a really nice bit of style to the camera as well as improved ergonomics. I know a lot of people say that the XM5 and X-T50 grips are a little small, a little hard to hold. With these grips, it's a lot easier, a lot nicer. For the XS20, it didn't really need a grip per se because the grip on it is already pretty beefy, but it is a little short. So I found that my pinky would hang off when just holding it. What I did for that is I actually got a bottom plate for the XS20. Now, strangely enough, there aren't a lot of accessories for the XS20 on Amazon, so I kind of had to grab this from AliExpress, but I will link that down in the description. But that bottom plate definitely helped with the ergonomics of the XS20. Now, I do also have cages for the XM5 and the XS20 because those are like my run and gun video cameras, and so I might want to rig them up from time to time. And so for the XM5, I have the SmallRig cage, which you've seen in my Cinegear video, and then for the XS20, I have the newer cage, which adds a nice little grip to it, but then also adds all the necessary attachments that you have on your typical camera cage. Moving on, for the XS20 and the X-T50, I have these nice eye cups that attach through the hot shoe of these two cameras, and it really improves the usability of the EVF on these cameras. cameras. It makes it so that your nose isn't bumping right up against the screen. And to me, it kind of helps with the visibility because it kind of isolates your view a little bit better. For the X-T50, these eye cups basically live on my cameras, but then for the XS20, I kind of pop them off when I need to put a mic on, but then pop it back on when I get ready to do some photography. Now, speaking of the hot shoe mount, for the Fuji X-M5, I really feel I have found a cheat code with this thumb grip from SmallRig. What this thumb grip allows me to do is keep the thumb grip inside the camera, but still add something like an external mic to the camera as well, because it does have that added cold shoe on top of the thumb grip. And the cheat code is that SmallRig did not make this thumb grip for the XM5. SmallRig made this thumb grip for the Sony a7C II. It just so happens to fit perfectly in the XM5. And so I will definitely link that down in the description for any of you who really want to do a lot of hybrid shooting with the XM5, both photo and video, and not really want to have to take out the thumb grip a lot. So next up, let's talk wrist and neck straps. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know that I use these really thin leather wrist straps for my smaller cameras like my XM5 or my X-T50. I actually think those have been discontinued, but I will link something comparable for those. But for my bigger cameras like the X-H2S, the XS20, I actually do like to use a little bit heftier of a wrist strap. And for that, I use the PGY Tech quick release wrist strap. Now, I think PGY Tech and Peak Design have very similar types of wrist straps. What I like about the PGY Tech one is that the little grommets for the quick release, they're a little bit smaller, one. And then also, once I detach the wrist strap from my camera, it has a magnet in it, so I can actually wrap the wrist strap around my wrist like a bracelet, and it's not just dangling free. And so I think that was a really nice touch by PGY Tech. Now for the neck strap, honestly, I'm not a big neck strap user. The only time I use a neck strap is when I'm using the GFX 50S, just because it is such a big and bulky camera. I don't want to carry it around all the time. And the neck strap that I have is one that I've had since 2019. It is the Peak Design slide neck strap. I love it because it is very durable. It has that nice seat belt material, and it's Peak Design, so of course it has the whole quick release system. But I actually don't use that system. I actually use the method where I have attached the file cam quick release plate, and I detach and attach my camera that way. And for me, it's just so much quicker, so much faster in order to get my camera on and off the neck strap. Now, speaking of quick release, this next accessory is probably the MVP of all of my accessories, and that is the Ulanzi quick release system. Now, I think Ulanzi and FileCam have some type of relationship because I can kind of use their stuff interchangeably, but I have these little Ulanzi plates set up everywhere. They're on my tripod, my monopod, C-clamps, top-down setup, magic arms. They really allow me to quickly attach my camera to different mounts and accessories in order to really get up and running filming pretty quickly. And so this Ulanzi quick release system is definitely one of the most invaluable accessories I have as far as how I film my YouTube videos. And then the last accessory I want to talk about when it just comes to setting up my camera for filming is this nice tripod extension arm. Now, if you're like me, you've probably seen these recent YouTube videos of new tripods that came out that can actually convert for top-down filming. But here's the thing, I already own 3 tripods, and I didn't want to have to buy a 4th tripod just to get the top-down filming feature. And so this nice horizontal tripod extension arm allows me to just quickly swap out my tripod head and do some top-down filming, and it has saved me quite a bit of money. Next, I want to get into the accessories that have really helped with the overall image and audio quality of using these cameras. Let's talk filters. First up, I have this really nice hybrid VND CPL filter system from Freewell. Now, Freewell was kind enough to send out this system for me to try in order to just kind of use and give my thoughts. And what I'll say is it's a pretty nice little system. What they sent me was the filter itself, the 67mm step-up ring attachment, and the 1/4 glow mist attachment as well. Now, the filter by itself is an 82mm filter thread, and you can use traditional step-up rings with it as long as you keep that 82mm attachment on there. It also comes with a nice carrying case and magnetic filter caps as well, and so that's pretty nice. The 67mm step-up ring attachment that he gave me was perfect for me because most of my video lenses do have a 67mm filter thread, and so that works pretty well for conversion. And of course, the glow mist was really fun for when I was shooting in areas where I had like lights up and I can kind of bloom those lights as well. The image quality is pretty nice. I do like the hybrid VND CPL combo where I can cut reflections from glass and water, and that VND was perfect for shooting on bright sunny San Diego days, so that was good. I also like that it's magnetic, but you can lock it in so the filter does not fall off. Once you lock it on there, it is on there. You can't take it off for anything. It doesn't come off in a bag, and that is a really nice touch with filters like these. But one thing I don't like about this filter, which is probably something most people wouldn't have a problem with, is that it only comes in 82 millimeters. And so you get the 82 millimeter filter, and then you get these step-up ring attachments like this 67 millimeter one that I have. Or you can use your traditional step-up rings. It's really versatile, and it looks fine on something like my X-H2S or my XS20. But for me, when I'm using it on something like my XM5, it just looks too conspicuous. It's too big. It's taking away from the compactness of the setup, and so it's not something I would use on my smaller cameras. But that's okay, because I actually use some other filters on my smaller cameras like my XM5 and my XT50. Namely, the main filters I use on the XM5 are these really nice magnetic filters from K&F Concept. They do come in different filter thread sizes, so I can get a 67 millimeter filter thread size and a 55 millimeter filter thread size, and it doesn't look too bulky on my camera, and so it's pretty nice. And it's magnetic, so they're easy to take on and put off. But I will say, unlike the Freewell system, these magnetic filters from K&F Concept do not lock, so they do have the tendency to pop off in a bag from time to time. Lastly, I do have the Shortstache filter that I mainly use for photography because it does give a really nice moody look. I actually did take it out when I shot at Comic-Con, and I really enjoyed the look that that filter gives. It really adds a moodiness to photos, and so really love the Shortstache filter. Let's talk audio. Now, one thing I love about Fujifilm cameras is that they have a setting in the camera where you can auto level external microphones. That way, once you put that setting in, all the audio adjustments you're making are directly on the microphone. Now, for these talking head portions, I like using shotgun mics, and mainly I like using Sennheiser shotgun mics, strictly because for some reason my voice sounds more fuller. I feel like when I use other shotgun mics, it takes some of the bass out of my voice, which is weird. But Sennheiser mics, my voice sounds like my voice to me. The one that I'm using right now is the MKE 400, and what I love about this one is that it is battery powered like AAA or AA batteries. So if the battery depletes, I can just pop that out, pop a new one in, and I'm back up and running. I don't have to wait to charge. And this mic has a feature that when I turn the camera on, the mic comes on. When I turn the camera off, the mic turns off, and that's really nice. Additionally, the mic does have the ability to switch to a low cut filter. It does have a volume boost. It does have a volume dimmer, and all those settings are directly on the mic. And so once I have that auto level setting done in the camera, all the adjustments I make are directly to the microphone, and it works out pretty well. And so I love the MKE 400 for that. As a smaller, more budget-friendly option, there is also the MKE 200, which I use when I'm out and about shooting. I love that mic as well. What I love about these mics is that they kind of have the pop filter built in, so I don't necessarily feel like I need to put a windscreen on it. I really like that about these mics. The one thing I think is weird is that it has the TRS jack on the front of the mic, which I haven't seen on any other type of shotgun mic. Now, when it comes to using wireless mics, I use the DJI Mic Minis. I think those are really nice. They're really discreet. I also have the Mic 2s, but I found that more and more I'm just using the Mic Minis, and they work with, you know, my Fuji cameras. They work with my DJI Action camera. They work with my smartphone. And so the Mic Minis are really nice. They're really discreet, and they produce some really good audio. But yeah, y'all, those are some of my favorite accessories to use with my Fujifilm cameras. Now, like I said, a lot of these items that I mentioned, they are either cross-compatible or they have alternate versions that work with other camera brands. So I'm sure there's a version of these products, or these products are compatible with your camera, even if you don't use Fujifilm. And so you would still be able to get these accessories for yourself, regardless of whatever camera you use. Again, all these links will be down in the description. Also, I will say I am working on a complete gear list of everything that I shoot with, and so I will be putting a link to that in the description of the next video, and so be on the lookout for that. Hopefully you found some of these accessories interesting or potentially useful for you and your needs. I hope this helped. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and yeah, I'll be checking them out. But if you like this video, go ahead and drop it a like. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the notification bell to stay informed on all my future content. And until next time, y'all, I will catch y'all later.